No.
Nobody's going to be happy.
Well, we tried to make, listen, Mahershala's portrayal, beautiful, beautiful man, beautiful portrayal of the guy, a genius. I think we showed him in showing what a genius he was. Listen, no one would even know his name right now. No one would know who he is. No one would know about the Green Book. So it wasn't a biopic of Don Shirley. It was a little slice of life, a little portion of his life, like my father, a little portion of his life. And everyone took great care. Peter Farrelly, everyone, from when we wrote it to producing it to Pete directing it and to Mahershala portraying him. I think it was a beautiful job. The guy's known. People are downloading his music. I mean, he was sort of one of those lost guys that in his time he was known, but he wasn't like a big name outside of the jazz world and in that classical sort of world. So I'm glad his name is out there. People know who he is. They know his music. They know what the Green Book is. And we made the movie's not that bad. It won Best Picture, so we didn't do that bad.
I think it was a tremendous movie. You know, in a world where I like certain fucking movies, Nick, I don't go see everything. I don't want to see the Avengers. I don't want to see a lot of shit. I don't want to see remakes. I'm done. I'm 56. I've seen it all. I've seen the good ones and the bad ones. And once you're in a movie, you see behind the curtain why a movie's made.
No capes. You don't want to see any capes.
No capes, yeah. No capes, no nothing. So to me, that movie, it came somewhere where I've been. I was telling people here that sometimes I say the word Arab or whatever. When I was in college, my tutor was Mohammed Zabib. He would come to my house. I would go to his house. He would tell me about their culture. So whatever the fuck you say, it doesn't really matter because I know the truth. They're sweet people. So we've all gone through that transition where we prejudge somebody.
Yes.
You know? The way your family did it was hilarious in the movie because that's the way every family was. You know.
Sure.
Fuck, the two glasses. I saw crazy as shit.
Yes.
I saw crazy as shit. You know.
To me, it reminded me of like there's movies used to have like a point. Now like a lot of movies out there are just like even I like action movies, but there's not. It's a fun 2 hours where stuff blows up, and I like something where you learn something, you get like you learn about that time, you learn about like I'd heard about something like the Green Book, but seeing them go to the bar when he gets drunk and the guys are beating him up, I'm like, wow, that. And then the scene that I really liked was when the car broke down and the guys were working in the field. I was like, wow, that.
Those are the scenes that they mean something. Look at when you watch Rocky, you feel something.
Right.
There's certain movies you watch, you don't feel dick.
Well, that's what I wanted to do.
I felt something when I watched your movie.
I wanted to make a movie that people felt something, and that. I made a lot of crap before that, but you try, I was kind of in the minor leagues of movie making lots of independent movies, never having enough money, whatever the excuses are. But I always wanted to make those type of feel-good movies, like Frank Capra movie or, The Bicycle Thief or a Walt Disney movie, movies that make you feel. There's room for everything else. I love action movies. I like superhero movies if they're good. Whatever it is, if it's entertaining, I think there's room for everything. But when I talked to Brian Curry about it to bring him on to write with me, and then we went to Pete, we all, wanted to make a movie that touched people. We're not solving racism. It's just a slice of life, but there's a little hope at the end of it. And it's a story about human beings. I never thought about black and white. I just thought it was about two people, and that's how you should look at it. So I think, like I said, we were very meticulous about the script. And then when Pete's direction was impeccable, I mean, he should have been nominated for Best Director. That to me is a travesty. How does a movie get nominated for Best Movie? Would it direct itself? Do you know what I mean? I feel the same way about Bradley Cooper. He should have got nominated for Best Picture. The movie's a Best Picture. That should be a thing. If it's a Best Picture, the director should be nominated. Nothing against the other guys that got nominated. But how is Pete Farrelly not nominated when his movie wins Best Picture? Something wrong there. But my point is, Pete did a hell of a job. We all cared about it. And it's filled with, I think there's a truthfulness to it, despite what some people think. All those little incidents really happened. The only creative license we took was it happened over a 1.5 year period. We moved them around. Pete wanted to concentrate it, so we did it in that 2-month period before Christmas. Right. But that's, it's not, it all actually happened We just took all the best stories and put them together. And we knew, okay, this is a true story. And I think that's why it resonates. That's why you feel something, because it's not a bunch of garbage. So it's not a lie. You're feeling these things happen. These people really were affected. And, there's criticism. Oh, all of a sudden, Tony Lip's character turns around in 2 months. Well, it wasn't 2 months. It was always a period of time. But yes, he did turn around. He changed his life, how he raised us, how he treated other people. I was happy I was able to get that story at the screen. And
the one I didn't understand, the one that fucked with me a little bit was funny and sad at the same time. Not even funny is when he strayed out and he caught him at the Y, or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be.
right.
You and I both know at that time period, people like you and me would have been shocked. Like I would have been shocked. Your dad didn't really judge him at that period.
No.
At that time, he just walked out of there. Did your dad tell you the story? The doctor tell you the story?
They both did.
And
The thing was, that's why even, life is complicated and people are complicated. So, the word racist, I guess it means one thing to a lot of people. So you see something like the glasses at the beginning, that's a racist MFer, But again, this is I don't like give. There's no excuses, but one thing or how a person is doesn't mean he's completely one way or has a bad heart or he has a. He wasn't a racist in the sense he wasn't walking around with a hood in his head. He was a people person. He loved people, human beings, and he didn't really judge people. Like my whole life, we were around all kinds of people, and he loved other people's cultures and food and how they laughed, how they danced. It didn't like how they dressed. He would love it if he saw something. It didn't matter if you were black, white, Jewish. So even though in the culture, and growing up in New York and stuff, there were tribal groups, but everyone stayed with their own kind. But my father, once he mixed with people, he treated them all the same, and he brought us up to do that. So in that particular sense, like he says in the movie, I've been around nightclubs all my life. I know it's a complicated world. He's done and seen everything in the city, right? He's in nightclubs. He was working at the Wagon Wheel and the Peppermint Lounge. He grew up knocking guys out. He was all over the place. He saw it all.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.